So have you ever felt that, like your peace, maybe your time, your happiness even,
Mm-hmm.
it feels like it's constantly being hijacked
Uh-huh. Yeah, definitely.
by, other people's actions, maybe their opinions or just their moods.
Totally. It's like you're walking on eggshells sometimes.
Right. Maybe it's the driver who cuts you off, right?
Sure.
Or that email, that passive-aggressive email from a colleague.
Oh, yeah, those are the worst. They can ruin your whole morning.
Or, family judgment that just kind of grates on you.
Absolutely. It feels like you're constantly reacting, trying to manage them.
Exactly. And it's exhausting. We all want that shortcut, to feel well-informed, especially about managing our own inner world when everything outside feels chaotic. How do we, get off that hamster wheel?
Well, it's a universal struggle, isn't it? That feeling of being kind of adrift, constantly pushed around by what other people expect or do.
Yeah.
So today, we're taking a deep dive into a concept that really promises to flip that script entirely. It offers not just surprising facts, but really practical tools.
Okay, I like the sound of practical tools.
Tools that can actually change your daily experience, give you back that sense of control.
Exactly. And what's so great is that today's deep dive is into something that sounds simple, but it's actually profoundly powerful. It's the let them theory.
Ah, yes. Mel Robbins.
Yep, from Mel Robbins. And it's really about reclaiming your power, right? Protecting your peace by focusing on the one thing you can control.
Which is yourself.
Yourself. It's like building this internal fortress against all that external noise trying to drag you down.
And our source material for this is, it's really rich. It's a summary of Mel Robbins' work, her book.
Right.
And it weaves together her personal stories, which are super relatable, sometimes really raw, but also compelling research from psychologists, neuroscientists. And it brings in these actionable strategies. What's fascinating is how it connects modern ideas with, ancient wisdom.
Like what?
Well, things like Stoicism, Buddhism,
Yeah.
but also newer psychological concepts like detachment theory.
Detachment theory.
Yeah, which is about, creating a healthy emotional distance from outcomes you can't control. And radical acceptance, just acknowledging reality as it is without fighting it.
Wow. That sounds powerful. So acceptance, detachment.
Exactly. It's this blend that makes it incredibly potent, I think.
Okay, so our mission for you today is really to unpack the most important nuggets from this theory. We want to help you understand why it works.
The psychology behind it.
Yeah, the science, the human nature part, and crucially, how you can actually use it to transform your relationships, maybe your whole approach to life.
Get ready for some aha moments.
Totally. Because what you're about to learn might just be the most liberating, empowering thing you'll hear in a while. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's start by setting the scene. Mel Robbins herself, at one of her lowest points. Can you just imagine? She's 41.
Yeah.
Staring down, what, $800,000 in debt?
$800,000. It's staggering.
And she's unemployed. Her husband's restaurant business is just crumbling.
It sounds like absolute rock bottom, that feeling of failure, like there's no way out.
Right. She talks about feeling this, knot of envy in her stomach watching friends succeed while they could barely afford groceries. Laid off, no idea what to do next.
And it wasn't like she hadn't tried things.
No, that's the thing. She'd done so much already. Public defender.
Right, in New York. Then a lawyer at a big firm in Boston.
Business development, life coach, radio host.
Yeah.
She even opened a paint-your-own-pottery studio.
Wow. A real mix.
Yeah, but she felt completely lost.
Yeah.
Nothing she did was ever going to be enough to dig them out of that hole.
It's such a powerful illustration of how easy it is to just get paralyzed by self-doubt, by anxiety when things get that bad. And Mel's main way of coping? Avoidance. Total avoidance.
Like hitting the snooze button.
Hitting snooze, yeah. Using alcohol to kind of numb the pain, blaming her husband maybe to shift responsibility, procrastinating on finding a job, anything but face it.
Right.
And she really highlights how huge the smallest tasks feel in that state, like just getting out of bed.
Opening bills.
Oh, God. Or being present with family, cooking a meal, applying for jobs, even just being honest with herself or anyone else about how bad things really were.
Yeah. Everything feels impossible, but you've still got that anxiety just churning inside.
Exactly, like quicksand. The more you struggle, the deeper you sink.
But here's the real kicker, the irony, right? Even though she felt totally stuck, she knew. She knew exactly what she needed to do.
Deep down, yeah. Get up, tackle the bills, get the kids ready, go for walks.
Reach out for support, make a budget, find a job. All the logical things.
But she couldn't. She just couldn't make herself do it.
And that conflict, that's what led to her first huge breakthrough, right? The 5-second rule.
Yes. A famous moment. One morning, just overwhelmed, she forces herself out of bed, counts down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Like launching a rocket.
Pretty much. Just this tiny push against this massive inertia. And she discovered that that small action, done consistently, it could actually change everything.
It interrupts the excuses.
Exactly. You just act before your brain talks you out of it. And that simple technique, used over and over, it was truly transformational for her. She went from feeling like a total imposter.
Right, that feeling of, who am I to give advice?
Yeah, crippling imposter syndrome.
Yes.
To becoming the most booked female speaker in the world.
Wow, that's quite a leap.
Huge. That first year, 17 paid speeches. The next year, 47 enough to quit her day job.
Yeah.
Third year, 99 speeches. A 24-city tour with J.P. Morgan Chase. All because she forced herself to take action, especially on those mornings she really didn't feel like it.
So she was actually paying down that massive debt.
Chipping away at it, pushing through the fear, the self-doubt. The 5-second rule, she realized, helps you win that internal battle.
The battle with yourself, getting yourself to do the thing.
Right, creating that moment of action before you hesitate.
Okay, so the 5-second rule cracked the code for those internal struggles, getting yourself motivated. But what about the chaos from outside? When it's not about your own motivation, but it's other people. Difficult colleagues, family drama, just everyday stuff that stresses you out that isn't about you getting out of bed.
Right, the external battles.
Did she figure out how to handle those? Or was she still just kind of pushing forward, feeling the weight of everyone else?
That's exactly where the next big shift happened for her, this realization. It led right to the core of what we're talking about today.
Okay.
The 5-second rule was about self-improvement, right? Changing her relationship with herself.
Getting yourself to act.
Yeah. But the let them theory, that was about changing her relationship with other people.
Oh.
It's about this incredible freedom you get when you just stop trying to manage or worry about what other people do or say or think or feel or expect.
It sounds liberating.
It is. It's realizing how much energy we waste trying to control things we absolutely cannot control.
Right.
Like other people. Most of our stress comes from that, really, trying to control the uncontrollable.
The let them theory. At its heart, it's about freedom, isn't it? A huge shift in perspective.
Totally.
2 simple words. Let them. And they can free you from that enormous, exhausting burden of trying to manage everyone else. Now, it's not about ignoring people, right? Or being selfish or ditching responsibility.
No, not at all. It's strategic.
It's about protecting your own time, your energy, focusing fiercely on what actually matters to you.
Right.
I mean, just think about it for a second. How much time do we actually spend chasing approval?
Oh.
Or trying to manage other people's happiness? Or letting what we think they'll think hold us back?
It's a huge mental tax. It really is.
Yeah.
And the core truth, the one we often fight against, is you just cannot control other people, no matter how hard you try.
We think we can, though.
We live our lives as if we can. We think if we just say the right thing, people will like us. If we work harder, the boss respects us. If we bend over backwards for family and friends, we'll get peace.
But it doesn't work like that, does it?
Rarely. You work harder, you bend further, you make yourself smaller. And someone's still disappointed. Someone still criticizes.
You still feel like it's never enough.
Exactly. And the beauty of Let Them is how it aligns with all this ancient wisdom, Stoicism, Buddhism.
You mentioned detachment theory, radical acceptance.
Right. All these profound traditions teach us to focus consciously on what is in our control, our own thoughts, actions, reactions, and just release the grip on everything else.
So other people's reactions are their job, not mine.
Their responsibility, not yours. That's the liberation.
Okay, the origin story for Let Them. It's actually kind of charming, isn't it? And so relatable. It happens at her son Oakley's prom.
Yeah, the high school prom, peak stress event for parents.
Totally. Mel had already done 4 proms with her daughters, months of planning, dresses, dates, corsages, buses.
The whole 9 yards. She thought Oakley's would be easy.
She thought wrong. Oakley's approach was last minute, tux, specific sneakers, finding a date, all scrambled like 48 hours before.
Oh, man. Parental panic mode activated.
Right. Then the corsage drama. Mel makes this killer corsage, research trends, paid for it.
Put effort in.
Oakley just rejects it, flat out. Says his date doesn't want one. Mel felt annoyed, hurt. Her effort, time, money felt totally unappreciated.
Yeah, that stings.
But the real moment, the big aha
Yeah.
that changed everything, It happened during the pre-prom photos.
Okay.
Picture this.
Oh.
20 kids, all dressed up in black tie, no dinner reservations, and suddenly it starts pouring rain.
Oh, no.
And their plan: go to this tiny taco shed called Amigos. Seats maybe 4 people.
For 20 kids, in the rain, in tuxes.
Yes. So Mel, like any parent would, feels her body tense up. She's 2 steps ahead, heart pounding, ready to jump in, frantically searching her phone for restaurant.
Trying to fix it, micromanage, save them from themselves.
Totally. She's physically tensed, bracing for disaster.
And this is where her daughter Kendall becomes the unexpected voice of reason.
Right, the guru.
As Mel's frantically trying to find reservations for 20, Kendall just calmly pulls her aside, looks her right in the eye, and says, "Mom, if Oakley and his friends want to go to a taco bar for pre-prom, let them. Let them get soaked. Let his new sneakers get ruined. Let them show up to prom in wet tuxedos and dresses. Let them go eat where they want. It's their prom, not yours. Just drop it. Let them."
Let them.
Simple, but totally paradigm shifting. It allowed Mel to just step out of that illusion that she could or should control everything.
And the effect on Mel was immediate.
Instantaneous.
Yeah.
Profound. She said something inside her just softened. The tension vanished. Her mind stopped racing. The stress of trying to control it all just evaporated.
Like a physical release.
Yeah. She handed Oakley $40, told him to have an awesome prom, and watched him run out into the pouring rain, splashing mud on his date's gown, ruining his sneakers.
And she didn't care?
Didn't care one bit. That single moment, that shift, it fundamentally changed her whole approach to life, that tight grip she had just loosened. Freedom.
Incredible.
And this wasn't just a personal revelation. It sparked a global thing.
Right. The video she posted.
Yeah, a 60-second video explaining "let them" on social media. Within 24 hours, 15 million views. Within a week, 60 million. Yeah. Tens of thousands of comments. News outlets wrote about it. Psychologists blogged about it. Her podcast episode on it was Apple's 6th most shared globally that year.
People got tattoos.
People got "let them" tattoos. The impact was immediate, huge, universal, because it tapped into that fundamental human need for control.
We're wired for it.
We are. We want to control our time, thoughts, actions, environment, future. It makes us feel safe. So often, without realizing it, we try to control everyone and everything around us.
But you can't.
You can't. The only person you can truly control is you, your thoughts, your actions, your feelings. The real aha is that genuine control comes from releasing that illusion of control over others.
Okay, "let them" sounds amazing, incredibly freeing, but I can see how someone might hear it and think it sounds a bit dismissive, maybe even uncaring.
That's a really important point.
Like, how does she address that concern? Because just saying "let them" to everything could lead to isolation, couldn't it? Or avoiding responsibility.
Absolutely. And that's precisely why there's a crucial second part to the theory.
Okay.
It's "let me."
Let them. Let me.
Exactly. If "let them" is about releasing control you never had over others, "let me" is the power move. It's about taking responsibility for your response.
Oh, okay. What you do next.
What you do, think, or say next, it's a deliberate choice, rooted in self-awareness, compassion, empowerment, personal responsibility. It creates that necessary balance. You give others space, grace, and then you give yourself the same space to respond in a way that serves you, instead of just reacting emotionally.
So it's not checking out, it's stepping up for yourself.
Precisely.
Okay, let's go back to that example of her friends going on a trip without her. She felt excluded, hurt. How did she apply "let me" to that?
Yeah.
What'd she realize?
Well, she reflected honestly on her own part in it. She realized, hang on, I've been working nonstop for years. I've barely seen them. I haven't invited anyone out.
Taking ownership.
Yeah. She admitted, no one owes me an invite. Her "let me" actions were: stop expecting others to always include me. Take responsibility for my own social life. Be more proactive. Invite people out. Set better work boundaries. Prioritize these friendships because they clearly matter to me.
So she shifted from passive expectation to active creation.
Exactly.
So this combination, "let them" plus "let me," it's essential then. It sounds like "let them" alone could make you a hermit.
Right.
But the combo actually helps you connect more deeply. Is that the idea?
That's precisely it. The book warns against just using "let them" because, yeah, it can lead to loneliness, disconnection. It is not a license to give the silent treatment or ghost people or just shrug your shoulders.
Or avoid hard conversations.
Right, or stay in situations that hurt you. It's not meant to leave you feeling alone and invisible. It's meant to make you more connected, more fulfilled in your relationships.
Your "let me" era.
Your "let me" era. It's about stepping into full adult responsibility. for your happiness, health, social life, boundaries, needs, success, instead of waiting for someone else to give you permission or fix things.
You can create what you want if you put in the work.
Yes. The profound takeaway is let them frees you from external burdens, and let me empowers you to build the life you actually want.
Okay, the real genius here seems to be how practical this is across different parts of life. Let's dig into some key examples. Hashtag 4.1, managing stress.
Right. Let's start with stress. Life is stressful, no doubt. Work is number one for most people.
And managers have as much impact as spouses. Wow.
Apparently so. From those dreaded 4 p.m. Friday meetings, micromanaging bosses, layoffs, rude customers, it's always something.
Yeah.
And our bodies have that automatic stress response, right? The amygdala primal survival center takes over. It's designed for short bursts, like fleeing a tiger.
Well, we're not fleeing tigers usually.
No. But 7 out of 10 people are living in chronic stress, constantly stuck in that survival mode. And that just derails everything. Goals, patience, logical thinking, perpetual fight or flight.
Okay, so if our bodies are hardwired like that, how does let them act as this instant off switch for that stress response?
It signals to your brain. This is not a danger. The second something stressful happens, you consciously say,
System send the email, let them cut me off.
Exactly. It tells your brain, it's okay, this isn't worth activating the whole alarm system.
Yeah.
You're basically telling your amygdala to stand down. You detach from the negative emotion.
Okay.
Then you immediately follow with, let me. Take a deep breath. Or 2, calm your body and brain. Regain control.
So you stop the automatic reaction.
And allow for a conscious, deliberate response. No more rage texts, no snapping at people, no wasting hours stewing over an email. It's a conscious choice in how you respond instead of letting emotions hijack you.
The insight is you can shut down your own stress alarm by accepting what you can't control. And this applies to bigger things too, like politics. Feeling powerless about decisions made.
Yes, absolutely. You can't change what just happened. A school board vote, a Senate decision, a past election result. So first step, let them accept the reality.
Okay. But then what's the let me?
Let me stay engaged. Let me be vocal on issues I care about. Let me take action to create the change I want to see. Remember Margaret Mead. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world.
Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has.
Right. So if it bothers you that much, you act. Talk is cheap. Dedicate time and energy to changing it. Don't just stew.
So channel energy from worrying about the past to influencing the future.
Through deliberate action.
Yeah.
Hashtag 4.2, fearing other people's opinions.
Okay, next big area. Fearing what other people think. Mary Oliver's famous question, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?
Mm-hmm. Beautiful question.
Whatever your answer is, someone will have an opinion about it. Guaranteed.
Always.
And that fear, judgment, disapproval, criticism, it's like the silent killer of dreams, isn't it? It paralyzes us. Procrastination, self-doubt, overthinking.
We end up using their anticipated reactions as our life's roadmap.
Yeah.
We just give away our power without realizing it.
So what's the science here? Why is fearing opinions so futile?
The science is incredibly liberating. You have zero control over someone else's opinion. Your mind cannot neurologically influence what pops into their head.
70,000 thoughts a day.
70,000, most of them random. It is neurologically impossible to control that. So, fearing what they think, trying to change it, it's a complete waste of your precious energy.
Wow.
The let them approach. Revolutionary. Just let them think what they want. In fact, Mel says, assume they will have negative thoughts. Even people who love you.
Really?
Yeah. She gives funny examples of her family's thoughts about her husband's farts, her kids calling her messy, and her thoughts about them. It's normal. The real insight is realizing that trying to manage those thoughts is like trying to control chaos. The freedom comes when you truly accept it's impossible.
So the solution is shift focus.
Yeah.
To what makes you proud.
Exactly. Act in a way that aligns with your values, not to please everyone else.
Mel talked about censoring herself when she started speaking, right? Worried people would think, her giving advice, she almost ruined her life.
Right. But let me allowed her to say, let me focus on sharing what I learned. Let me focus on helping people. Let me be proud of the work I'm doing.
And the irony is, even bending over backwards doesn't guarantee approval.
Never. Mel's story about the double duty weekend seeing a friend and grandparents, she still got critiqued.
Ugh.
So the key is, bend over backward to make yourself happy. Act in ways you're proud of, regardless of their reaction. Own your decisions. Reclaim your power.
And she mentioned frame of reference. Understanding why they might think that way.
Yeah, stepping into their shoes. Like her mom's initial reaction to Chris, her husband, Understanding her mom's perspective, her fears, her background, it created space for compassion, even if Mel didn't agree.
So you recognize their view without adopting it.
Exactly. It shifts from pleasing others to prioritizing your own integrity and peace. Hashtag 4.3. Dealing with emotional reactions.
Okay, let's talk about adult tantrums. We've all seen them.
Oh, yeah. Adults acting like children, pouting, silent treatment, blowing up, passive-aggressive stuff.
Drives you crazy. And we often take it on ourselves to manage their reactions, right?
Yeah.
We walk on eggshells, adjust our lives.
Constantly doing emotional labor for them, which means we always come last, sacrificing our peace for their mood.
What's the psychological insight there?
Well, Dr. Davin, the depth psychologist Mel quotes, has this great line: most adults are just 8-year-old children inside of big bodies.
Ah, okay, that helps.
It reframes it, right? Many people just lack the tools to process emotions maturely. So when someone gives you this silent treatment, they're often seeking attention and control, like a pouting kid.
So let them.
Let them. Give them space to feel their feelings without you needing to fix it, take responsibility, or change their behavior. Recognize it for what it is. Disengage from the drama.
Okay, that works for other people. But what if we're the ones throwing the tantrum? Mel admitted she was like a 5-year-old sometimes emotionally.
Yeah, she's very honest about her own struggles. Venting, erupting at her kids, sending angry texts.
So how does this theory challenge us to handle our own raw emotions?
Yeah.
Because that feels like the hardest part.
That's where the rubber really meets the road. Because science shows emotions are just chemical bursts. They ignite in your brain, get absorbed in your body in about 90 seconds.
90 seconds, that's it.
If you don't react to them, no phone, no TV, no drink, no fridge raiding, just observe the feeling.
What happens if you react? Like send the angry text.
You trigger another chemical burst, you keep the cycle going, you feed the emotion. So you can't control emotions from rising, they're automatic. But you can let them rise and fall without reacting. And remember, it is not your job to manage another's emotional reactions or make excuses for them.
Let me be the mature one.
Let me be the wise adult. Draw healthier boundaries. Decide consciously how I respond, even if they're acting out. The big takeaway isn't avoiding feelings, it's knowing you have this built-in detox cycle for emotions if you just let them pass without feeding them. That's huge for your own peace. Hashtag 4.4, overcoming chronic comparison.
Comparison, ugh. We all do it. Scroll social media, instantly feel inadequate, obsess over what others have, look like, achieved.
It's self-torture, pure and simple. Paralyzes you, drains energy, leads straight to procrastination and self-criticism.
Comparing our messy reality to their curated highlight reel, how do we stop this?
Mel breaks down comparison into 2 types. First, the self-torture kind. Focusing on stuff you can't control, their luck, timing, inherent traits, that just drains your power, makes you feel hopeless. But the second kind, that's a gold mine. Comparison that teaches you something. It focuses on things you could potentially create for yourself with time and effort.
So jealousy can be useful.
Absolutely. When you feel jealous or angry about someone else's success, Mel says it's often because, deep down you're capable of something similar, but you haven't done the work. That anger, that's fuel.
Transform comparison from a weapon against yourself into a compass.
Exactly. Pointing you towards your own potential.
She shares that really vivid story about jealousy over her friend's home renovation. The dream house, playroom, bunk beds, the place all the kids wanted to be.
Oh, yeah, she describes it so well. Her initial reaction, like a full tantrum in the car with her husband.
What did she say?
How the heck do they have so much money? We'll never have a house like that. Just raw emotion, feeling like a horrible person for being jealous, feeling the shame of it.
But then, through the let me lens, with therapy help, she had a breakthrough.
A huge one. She realized the jealousy wasn't really about the house or even being mad at Chris. It was about her own ambition that she'd given up on. She'd been counting on her husband for financial success, basically avoiding her own responsibility to build the life she wanted. It forced her to look in the mirror, get honest about what she desired.
So jealousy was a message.
A message for my future self, she calls it. A doorway to her potential. It lit a fire under her. It's about putting in the reps, like Jeff Walker and Tom Brady say. Be consistent, determined, willing to do the work, even the boring parts.
The people who trigger jealousy often just put in the work we haven't yet.
Right. Your jealousy is a hidden superpower, a signpost to what you really want for yourself. Hashtag 4.5. Mastering adult friendship.
Adult friendship. It can be tough. If you've ever wondered, where did all my friends go? Apparently you're not alone.
Definitely not. It's notoriously hard because it shifts, right? In your 20s, it goes from being a group sport to an individual one.
We don't realize that shift has happened.
No. We keep expecting it to just happen organically, like in school. And because of that, our friendships often aren't what they could be.
So what are the key factors? The pillars influencing adult friendships.
Mel identifies 3 main pillars: proximity, timing, and energy.
Proximity, timing, energy. Okay.
Friends inevitably come and go as lives change. You move, have kids, change jobs, chapters end, energy levels shift. It's usually not personal, just a natural evolution.
So when a friendship fades or someone isn't showing up like they used to, it's often one of those pillars.
Often, yeah.
Yeah.
And let them helps here. Be flexible. Don't cling too tight to old expectations. Accept these shifts without taking it personally or blaming them. Stop expecting invites to everything or to click with everyone.
Adult friendships are dynamic. Accepting that frees you from bitterness.
Exactly.
But okay, what if you feel like you have no friends? Maybe after letting them go, or life just changed dramatically. That's a scary place.
It is. Mel shares her own experience moving to a rural town at 54, knowing nobody her age, feeling really lonely and miserable.
So how does let me apply to making friends?
Let me means stop waiting and expecting. Take full responsibility for creating your social life.
Be the architect.
Yes. Take the lead, reaching out to old friends. Put yourself out there to make new ones. Don't keep score on texts. Assume good intent.
Let them not text back because people are busy.
Right. It's not usually about you. It means going first. Say hello to strangers, sign up for that class, send the first text, even if it feels awkward or vulnerable. Risk rejection.
Because you haven't even met some of your favorite people yet.
Love that line. So many amazing connections are just waiting for you to initiate. You are not powerless in your social life. You build it. Hashtag 4.6. Motivating others to change.
Okay, motivating others to change. Spouse, kid, friend, colleague. The hard truth. You can't make them.
You really can't. People only change when they feel like it, when the motivation is internal.
Doesn't matter how much you want it for them or how right you are or how big the consequences seem.
Nope. If they don't feel like changing, they won't. And worse, any pressure you apply, even with good intentions, it just backfires. Creates resistance, resentment, distance.
Why? What's happening in the brain?
Neuroscience gives us clues. We're wired to move towards pleasure now and away from pain or hard stuff now. Immediate gratification wins.
Right.
Plus, everyone thinks they're the exception. We believe risks don't apply to us. Our brains literally tune out negative info or threats. Dr. Tally-Schott's research shows this.
So nagging, pleading, threats, ultimatums.
Totally ineffective, wasting your breath.
Yeah.
Their brains are actively filtering you out.
So the let them approach is radically simple. Let them sit on the couch. Accept them as they are.
Right now, yes. Stop the battle for control.
How does that acceptance set the stage for actual influence?
It ends the fight. Then, let me unlocks your real power. Influence. Research shows we're social creatures, highly influenced by those around us. Social contagion. So, you inspire change by modeling the behavior you want to see. Make it look easy, pleasurable, fun, with zero expectation or pressure on them.
Like the coworker taking walks at lunch. They don't preach, they just do it.
Exactly. And eventually you might find yourself wanting to do it too, thinking it was your idea. Their positive example influences you way more than any lecture. Shift from making them change to inspiring them.
Okay, but for deeper issues or when you're already stuck in a frustrating pattern, Mel has this ABC loop, a structured way to influence.
Yes, it's evidence-based and focuses on changing your approach. A, apologize, then ask open-ended questions. This uses motivational interviewing, like Dr. K recommends. Start genuinely, I want to apologize for judging and pressuring you. That disarms them.
Okay.
Then ask an open-ended question. How are you feeling about the issue right now? The goal isn't getting them to tell you the truth, it's sparking internal discomfort in them, highlighting the gap between what they want and what they're doing.
So they find their own motivation.
Yes. You just listen. Curious, accepting, no judgment, no fixing. B, back off and observe their behavior. You planted the seed, now you have to back off. Stop pressuring, give them time to think. This is the hard part.
Patience.
Lots of patience. Keep modeling the positive change yourself. Make it look good without expecting them to join in. Change takes time, often months. It's not linear. C, celebrate progress while you continue to model change. Any tiny step forward. Your spouse tries the Peloton once, reaches for water. Celebrate it immediately. Genuinely.
Immediate.
Dr. Schott's research again. Immediate positive feedback, compliments, rewards. They boost intrinsic motivation. They link the hard work with pleasure. Your positive attention becomes the reward they move towards. It reinforces the behavior. They own their journey.
So influence comes from creating a supportive space for their own motivation to grow, not from force.
Exactly. Hashtag tag tag 4.7. Helping someone struggling.
Okay, this is a really sensitive one. What if someone you love is seriously struggling? Severe depression, addiction, deep grief?
Yeah, this is delicate territory.
Obviously, if there's immediate danger, physical self-destruction, you intervene. Call for help. Ensure safety, no question.
Absolutely. Safety first.
But often, the struggles are hidden by shame, denial. And that hard truth comes up. You can't want their healing more than they do.
It's a brutal truth. What did Mel say about rescuing versus supporting? She put it starkly. The more you try to rescue someone from their problems, the more likely they will continue to drown in them.
Wow.
Rescuing isn't supporting. Enabling isn't loving. Enabling, giving irresponsible money, covering for bad behavior, making excuses. It actually hinders their healing. It prolongs the suffering.
And allowing natural consequences, that's necessary, even if it's painful to watch.
Dr. Waldinger from the Harvard study confirms it. It's a necessary part of healing. People learn from life's feedback. Shielding them, however well-intentioned, prevents growth. Enabling prevents growth.
Mel's personal example here is really powerful. Her husband, Chris, facing that huge debt, business failing. He asked his brother for a loan.
Desperately.
And his brother said no. That must have been devastating for Chris.
Incredibly painful, he recounts. But his brother was brutally honest. He said something like, "Sorry if me not giving you this money means the business fails and you go bankrupt, but I won't bail you out. You got to figure this out yourself."
Wow. Tough love.
That refusal forced Chris to hit rock bottom. But it also forced him to figure it out himself, led to a huge breakthrough, eventually resolving the debt, taught him financial responsibility in a way being rescued never would have.
So let them here means accepting they have to choose the work, be ready for it. You can't fight their battle.
Exactly.
So what does let me mean? How do you support without enabling when someone's really struggling?
Let me means provide support, but don't take over. Don't enable. Think of it like tossing a ball to someone learning a game. You toss it, but you don't run and catch it for them every time they drop it.
Okay.
You validate their feelings. "Oh, honey, I'm sorry you feel so scared." Separate your emotions from theirs. Don't get sucked into their spiral. Comfort them. A hug helps. Assure them they can do hard things, and then stand by them as they do the hard thing.
Be a beacon of hope.
Let them borrow your belief in them because often they don't believe in themselves. True support empowers self-reliance. It doesn't foster dependence. Hashtag tag 4.8. Choosing the love you deserve.
Last area. Love. Relationships. We all deserve profound love, to be seen, supported, cherished.
Absolutely.
But often, we're so eager for connection, we chase love or just the potential of love. We compromise values, settle for less. We let someone else's issues dictate our standards.
Accepting crumbs instead of demanding the whole meal.
Exactly. How does let them guide us here?
Well, first, dating isn't just about finding the one. It's a process of elimination, learning about yourself, defining what you want, and crucially, what you absolutely will not accept.
So let them show you who they are.
Yes.
Yeah.
If someone ghosts you, their disrespect says nothing about your worth. It says everything about their character, their communication skills. Your power is in how you respond, not in trying to change them.
You define your worth by your boundaries, not by chasing potential.
Bingo.
And for commitment. Mel talks about clear, honest conversations, no hinting, no guilt, no fear. She mentions Matthew Hussey's approach.
Yeah, his powerful framing with his now wife. Basically, state what you want clearly. I know myself, and I need to invest my time with people who want the same things I want, and be willing to walk away if your paths don't align.
It respects your time, your energy, gives them space to be honest too.
It's unapologetically clear. Creates a healthy boundary. Mel even extends this for existing relationships with the ABCDE loop. After ABC, apologize, ask, back off, observe, celebrate, for trying to inspire change.
Do?
D is decide if it's a deal breaker. If after 3 months of ABC there's no real change, you have to decide. And E is end the relationship if it is a deal breaker.
Wow, that's direct.
It's about choosing compatibility and alignment over just sticking it out. Sometimes, despite love, core dreams and values are just too different. Staying only breeds resentment.
So for existing relationships, the big question is, can you truly accept this person exactly as they are right now? Quirks, habits, annoyances, without resentment, and still love them.
Because they probably won't change.
Right. Mel uses her marriage as an example. Chris accepts her messiness, ADHD. because he values her enthusiasm, loyalty, humor more.
He decided the good outweighs the annoyances. That radical acceptance on both sides strengthens the marriage. It boils down to watering the grass where you are. If both partners want it to work, are willing to put in the effort, and the issues aren't deal breakers involving core dreams or values, then lean in, do the work.
Sometimes.
Sometimes you have to end things before they end you, especially if core values are misaligned, if you're constantly complaining, if it requires sacrificing your own path. This whole let them, let me approach helps you choose the love you deserve, whether attracting new healthy relationships or transforming existing ones.
True love accepts others, but also accepts what you deserve.
That's the core insight.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, let's bring it back. We've talked a lot about them, other people, their opinions, emotions, actions. But this whole thing was never really about them, was it? It was always about you.
That's exactly right. Think about standing under the sky. Sometimes it's clear, sometimes stormy. You've probably spent ages trying to wish away the clouds, keep it sunny.
Yeah, trying to control the weather.
But the sky doesn't care what you want, it does what it does. And the breakthrough, realizing its beauty, isn't despite the clouds or storms, it's because of them. The variety makes it magnificent. Storms highlight the calm, clouds make the sun precious.
And it's the same with life. You can't control the weather, the people, the situations, but you can control how you navigate under that sky.
You decide.
You decide if a loved one's comment crushes your self-esteem or just rolls off your back. You decide if bad dates make you lower your standards or become more discerning. You decide if someone else's success paralyzes you or inspires you to work harder.
The power was always yours.
Your power is in your response.
And look, if you don't embrace let them, you're basically letting yourself be constantly knocked around by everyone else's stuff, their worries, actions, insecurities, opinions. You're giving away your confidence, peace, happiness, dreams to their whims.
And if you don't embrace let me,
you're leaving your own life up to chance, hoping someone else rescues you, fixes you, motivates you. The cost of not using this is huge. Missed opportunities, unwritten stories, untaken risks. A life lived on someone else's terms.
So this is it, your invitation to your let me era. It's time. Time to stop wasting precious brain space on tiny worries that don't matter.
Time to boldly chase your dreams.
Fiercely protect your peace. Intentionally build the relationships and the life that make you proud. Stop making your social life everyone else's job.
Stop trying to change people who don't want to change.
Stop trying to rescue people. And stop wasting time trying to get people to love you when the only love you truly need to secure is your own.
You are responsible, wholly responsible for your own happiness, for the energy you bring, for doing the work on what matters to you. It is all on you, and that's not a burden. That's the ultimate liberation.
Just find yourself.
It might not be easy, not overnight, but the second you take that power back, you start to realize the career, the partner, the friends, the body, the goals, they are all ultimately within your control. You are so much more powerful than you think.
We believe in you. Now it's time for you to let you.